Hello beautiful people, my name is Sarah. I am the artist and maker behind Denim and Rain. Welcome to my YouTube. Today I'm going to be sharing my projects with you. So let's get into it. Alright, so first finished object I may or may not be wearing. I'm so happy with this finished object. Let me tell you. So happy. So happy. Okay, so this is my champagne cardigan by Petite knit. Oh my goodness. Let me just stand up for you because it needs to be seen in all of its glory. Here we are, everybody. Look at this. Look at this stunner. Oh, it's just, and then look at the buttons. Yes, these are my handmade resin buttons. They've got silver and hydrangea in them. And then look at this sweater. Look at the texture of this alpaca yarn. I used my thrifted alpaca yarn on this. This sweater has a beautiful vertical double knit brim button band, which I love the way this feels. It is so good. And then I did loose sleeves that came down to a nice tight cuff because her pattern actually calls for almost a straight. It's like a pretty nice decrease down to a looser sleeve, which is not my favorite fit. I like to have nice tight sleeves around my wrist because I don't like things bagging and hanging in food or what have you. So that was my first modification. I changed the way the sleeves go, made them nice and tight down in there, and then I feel like I had another modification that I don't remember quite at the moment. I think that may have been my only modification. But yeah, I used alpaca that I had thrifted. I knit on one needle size larger than what it's called for. I knit the size small. I actually started this cardigan back last summer. No, it didn't actually take me that long to knit. I did this thing where I didn't really read the pattern. I kind of read the pattern and then guessed, because, you know, I know best. Pattern writer doesn't know what they're talking about. I know how to do it. So I just kind of guessed my way through part of it and then ended up in trouble. Frogged it back. Then I was like, okay, you need to pay attention to the pattern. Got started and did the same thing I had done before. Ripped back. And then started again, was cruising, made it all the way through the yoke. Realized I had done the increases here, but not along here. What was I thinking? So yeah, I had to frog an entire yoke again. So it went in timeout for a good while. And then I pulled it back out, I think in September. And then I've been working on it off and on and stuff. And then December hit and I was like, I want this sweater. And then Christmas knitting and such happened and I didn't get it finished, and then after the new year I was like, I'm getting this cardigan done, and I finished it on January 2nd. So happy to have this done. I love it so much. Alright, and then after that I don't have any more finished knitting objects. I do have a couple of other things because, like I told you before, we are going to be sharing some other non-knitty things with you. So the first item is a resin tray that I made. This is my sister's tray I made for her, but she forgot it at my house, so I get to show it off to you. It has a nice little edge to it, and yeah, it's got some ferns in it. Super pretty. Had a lot of fun pouring this tray. She's gonna use it for tea to bring out to her living room and stuff, and she's like, I want an edge so I don't spill things. So I was like, I can do that. So I bought a mold that has edges on it, and I really like it and kind of want one for myself now. Finished a couple of paintings that I will share with you. I've started with gouache, I think is what the paint is called. It's like a mix between acrylic and watercolor. So these are a couple of paintings I've done. There's this one. It's got the little canoe on the water. This one I do not like. This was actually my first painting I did. Yeah, not a fan. I was just playing with the paint and wasn't really thinking about what I was painting. And then afterwards was kind of like, ugh. And then I did a couple pages of like forest-like paintings. Got this one with a little log cabin. And then over here, just a couple of forest scenes. So yeah, and I've done a couple of other oddball paintings as well, but a couple of them are secrets, so I can't share with you. But yeah, loving doing that, and I'm trying to find time to paint more because I find it incredibly relaxing, and I just love growing my skills there. So I'm hoping to do some more painting, especially with this medium. It's a lot of fun. Now on to some of my works in progress. I have a half object here, which is tangled in a big giant mess. Hold on. Yikes. Ah, I got it. I would put this on a sock blocker, but it's too small for a sock blocker. I finished one of Claire's socks. Yay! And it's too small. I sized up. I sized up because my child has giant feet. Her feet are big. I didn't realize how big. I sized up another size because I was like, okay. I made almost the entire leg and heel turn and stuff of the last sock, and she put it on. It was a little too tight. So I was like, okay, I'll size up one size and we should be good. Sized up one size, finished the sock. She put it on, and well, guess what? It's too small. I mean, she could probably wear it, but the stitches are like super stretched, and she's like, it's really tight. So, but I made it with like this cute little rib in the back, and this is knit out of Unicat by To The Max Yarn. This neon is by PK Yarns, and this is Mystery Yarn. But I decided to start this, well, I started the second one before I had to try on the first one, because that's how I roll. This one, they're going to be mismatched, which is super fun. So this one is knit mostly out of the Mystery Yarn, and then we'll have To The Max Yarn on the heel and toe, and then the PK Yarn for the cuff. But I'm still going to finish them. I'm going to finish them and then see if there's maybe somebody I can gift them to. Just because I don't really want her to wear something that's going to be squeezing her foot to death, and then also like only get a couple wears out of them before she either wears through them so fast because the fabric is so stretched, or like barely get to use them because they're too small for her feet. So I'm going to finish them, and then I'm going to knit her some different ones. I have that Bella Filata Studio or Yarns yarn, the Holly Jolly colorway, that I think I'll knit her a pair of socks out of that, which I think she'll really like. So, but for now, I'm going to finish these and then not knit her some socks for a while because you can't do it. Can't do it. All right, so my next project, you've seen the one finished part of it. I have the Sildra mitts by Skein Deer Knits, knit out of Winnie Jo fibers in Oat and Teak. These beautiful, beautiful mittens. Oh, I just love them. I want a pair of, maybe not this exact pattern, but one of Skein Deer's patterns because they're gorgeous. But I've cast on the second one for my mom. I've gotten through a few rows of color work. Not a ton. It's a mess, my word. But yeah, gotten through a few rows. I have to really pay attention and not have a ton of distractions. And then on here is my new stitch markers from Craft Me Not. Oh my goodness, they're mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I think mushrooms are super cool. Yeah, I think they're awesome. So having a mushroom progress creeper makes me super happy. Yeah. So loving the pattern still, really enjoying knitting it when I have the time to sit and focus on it. I actually really like knitting it, and it goes pretty fast once I get started. But I just need the time to do that. So I might actually get some of that done today, hopefully, maybe, possibly, we'll see. Okay, my next project is, wow, I just got all sorts of yarn just happening everywhere. Ah! Okay, we got that sorted. My word. So my next object that I've been working on is a sock. I started work on next year's Christmas socks because I loved wearing that one pair of Christmas socks and realized I really wanted some more. So this yarn is actually some of my hand-dyed yarn. I want to say I named it like Vintage Christmas Postcard or something like that. I don't really remember. I think it was just one that I dyed up for me. Like most of my socks, my vanilla socks, I have like a little rib that goes up the back side of it. The cuff, heel, and the toe are going to be knit out of Hobie's baby wool, which is 100% superwash. This yarn feels like workhorse yarn, so we will see how it holds up for the heels and toes. It's also a little bit thicker than the fingering weight. It's categorized as fingering, but I feel like it's either heavy fingering or sport, because the fabric on this and this part is dense compared to the rest of the sock, which is good because those parts of the sock have to do the most work. So we'll see how it holds up. I think it should hold up just fine because because of how dense it is and because of just, I don't know, the feel of the yarn. But yeah, I'm about halfway through the foot so far, making way better progress on it than I thought I would. I'm getting a little bit faster at working with fingering yarn than I used to. Plus after wearing those Christmas socks, I really want more Christmas socks. So I'm excited about having more, therefore more motivated to finish them. So once I'm done with this pair, I then am going to cast on DK pair from my Bella Flotto yarn. I don't remember the name of the colorway, but the really pretty Christmas DK yarn I got from her this year. So I'm going to knit those next. Really excited. All right, so my last work in progress is a sweater. No, not the sweater that I shared with you last time. That really great turtleneck that I was working on is currently in timeout. I put it on and was not feeling it. Just not feeling it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. I am going to finish it. I just have one sleeve to go. I finished one of the sleeves, but it's not vibing with me. I don't know if it's the color or the shape or the stitch on the front. I just felt meh in it. And there's nothing worse than putting something on and feeling meh. Like I put this cardigan on and feel, yeah, like I feel good. Put that sweater on and was like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. So we're putting that one in timeout because I wasn't feeling it after I put it on. So I was like, yeah, if I'm not feeling motivated to finish it, I'm just going to set it aside and work on something I'm excited about. So I have cast on the Home Sweater V-neck by, oh boy, hold that thought, by Caidree. It's Caidree, I think. I'll put it on the screen. It'll be on the screen. Again, not the best at pronouncing names and such, but here we are. Ba-da-da-da. I have finished the back and the front and have just joined in the round. I'm going to do a couple more rounds and then try it on. It's very rolled. It is wider and longer, but you know how stockinette stitches go. But yeah, it's a really beautiful V-neck. Oh, I'm very excited about this. This is knit out of Kinetic Knitter, the pressed flower colorway. It is a fingering weight based 75-25 merino nylon, and it is held double with Hobie's Metallico, which is polyamide, acrylic, and merino. And that one I believe is a sport weight. So held together, we've created this nice DK, and you can kind of see the beautiful. It's super stretchy. I'm hoping, yeah, I got gauge in my swatch, but then I feel like this is a little bit tighter than my swatch was, but I also think when I block it, it's going to grow a decent amount because there is a lot of stretch in this yarn. So I feel like I should be able to block it to a nice size. I mean, already, hold on, I'm going to bump the mic. Yeah, already I think we're looking good. So I love this yarn that I got from the Kinetic Knitter, but I have realized a couple of things about knitting and yarn and stuff that I've had to come to terms with. First, I don't like variegated yarns. I like variegated yarns in projects like socks. I'm not as big of a fan in garments. Like every pattern I've ever been drawn to, they're always knit in solids. Like even though the shape may be good, I look at it, I'm like, I don't like that. And not because the shape or the pattern itself, it's usually because of the color of yarn. And I've discovered the reason is when it's super variegated. But I got the yarn from Kinetic and then I was just in love with it. It was so beautiful. And then I have since made this realization, was like, oh, I've got this beautiful yarn. I really want to knit with it. So I decided to, by holding it double with this nice taupey, goldy, fluffy stuff, that it tones down the variegatedness of it. Yeah. And it's just a nice mauvey color, and I like it a lot. So yeah, I'm excited to get this one finished. I'm making, I feel like, pretty good progress on it. Body and sleeves, and then the neckband, we're good. Got through the challenging part of the neck shaping. So yeah, on here is one of my waist knot stitch marker. I have a whole bunch of like extra resin markers and like test pours and all this stuff. I've got like literally so many freaking stitch markers hanging out around my house. So I do have a new collection of those that I've launched or will be launching. Not sure when this video is going live, but they will be going live on January 21st at 6 p.m. If that has not already happened, make sure you set your alarms for that because there will be a lot of really amazing markers in that launch. All right, so that is basically it for today. Don't have a whole lot more to say or share for the day. So if you would like to follow me in any of the places, you can find the links down below in the description box, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe and comment below the projects that you have been working on. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye.